And we will answer that question at the end of this review of House of Darkness. Alright, thanks for joining me, horror fans. And as usual, we'll start with the cast and crew down below and the IMDb plot, which I'll read to you right now. Driving home to her secluded estate after meeting at a local bar, a player out to score thinks his beautiful, mysterious date will be another casual hookup. While getting acquainted, their flirtation turns playful, sexy, and sinister. Hoping to get lucky, his luck may have just run out. Okay, so this one is a fairly new one, and it stars Justin Long and Kate Bosworth. They are the couple mentioned there in the summary, and oddly, it uses player. I know people still said player, but okay, we'll go with that. And Justin Long's a player. Okay, we'll go with that as well. No offense to Justin Long, but not what I envision a player. But okay, and I'm myself included, not in that boat either. So whatever. um, but yeah, this is pretty standard here. Uh, the movie gets right off to it. You see them there. They've just driven back to her mansion slash castle slash giant house, and they're having a conversation out front. Still kind of getting to know each other. Maybe not completely sure how intoxicated they are. Maybe not too much. They obviously drove home, but that means nothing. But um, they're at her estate, we'll call it, or whatever, and the conversation then moves inside. So for a player, I guess that's a good thing, and they proceed to have more drinks and more conversation, and every once in a while, kind of, no, not every once in a while, but maybe once or twice, um, he seems to think he sees something or something's going on kind of in the background. Not really sure what he sees. He's not really sure what he sees. I'm not really sure what the hell he sees. But it's kind of sprinkling in early that it is the House of Darkness or something else is going on here in this house. Um, but and since this is new, I try to keep this as spoiler free as possible, um, which is going to make this brief. Uh, the conversation kind of rolls on a little bit more, and it does kind of sprinkle in some oddness as it goes on. But maybe it's maybe a little bit of the characters. He's she kind of paints him as maybe a liar or someone who could, what does they say, fib, or say some fibs there. So maybe a white liar here, and he kind of gets kind of tied around in that a little bit, and she kind of knows it, um, as it goes on, as their conversation kind of goes on. And she's going to say some odd things as well. And then, there's a moment where she kind of steps out of the room to get something, and he receives a phone call from somebody, one of his friends that was at the bar, and, kind of mentions, hey, you don't really hear the conversation, you just kind of get his side of it. And it's just, kind of one of those, I guess, things a player would get. When your friend's going to call you and say, hey, are you hooking up? I don't know why he would call the same night, but whatever. And the conversation kind of rolls into that kind of thing. And supposedly she hears it. She comes back in the room, but he thinks that she didn't hear it. And maybe she did, maybe she didn't, and so forth. She knows he was talking to somebody, and of course, here's where he's white lying again. And then the conversation starts to spill into some other weird stuff. And then I'm not going to tell you too much about what happens next, because then that kind of spoils things and kind of goes down that road. What I will say is, for those of you who actually stick around and actually watch my entire reviews, and some of the maybe longer ones, you're probably sitting here, why does this guy go on and ramble and ramble and ramble, which I admittedly do. And for those who stick through it, thank you. For those who turn me off, I get it. But this is kind of what this movie is. It is, there's not a lot of action and not a lot of going on. It is a lot of talking. Uh, they talk. There's more talking, and when you think the talking is over, there's more talking, and it's just conversation back and forth, back and forth. Like I said, there's other things to happen that are going to come up soon, as these conversations go on. But I don't want to kind of get into that, because then I think then I start kind of spoiling it, because I didn't really see that coming, or at least, well, like I said, I didn't see anything coming. But um, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to go there. I don't want to spoil it. And there's a lot to spoil, but it's just a lot of conversation. It's just the whole, most of the whole movie is just conversation. They conversate outside her house. They conversate inside, and then she leaves the room, comes back, more conversation, and then it's just conversation all over the castle, house, estate, mansion, whatever. It's just conversation everywhere. Um, I think there's something going on in this house, and it is the house of darkness, and I think at some point, horror fans are gonna kind of pick up on what's happening, and obviously gonna pick up on it more than one of the characters here, and it's fairly obvious which character, but I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible here. But obviously something is going on. Obviously you're gonna see who's in danger, who's not in danger, and what might be coming. It's going to become clearer and clearer as it goes on. And then finally, you're going to get a small payoff at the end of the movie. But again, it is not action filled, it is not a lot of excitement. It is just a lot of build, build, build until, you kind of are going to guess what is probably going to happen. And then it's going to happen in some shape or form, and then the movie's going to be over. So yeah, that's about it. My first impression when this movie kind of ended was this based on a short? And if not, it should have been a short, because it just really could have been a short, instead of a full feature film here. It could have just been a shorter conversation and got to the point of, okay, what is happening here, and then final scene, and then end it. Instead, it is let's push this into a feature, and make this conversations go on, and kind of keep the supposed mystery, and slowly give it up, even though as this kind of unfolds, I think horror fans are smart enough to kind of figure out where this is going, or where this could go, and it kind of goes there, and you're like, okay, well, it went there, and so what did I just watch besides a lot of talking? Kind of like when you're watching these reviews, just a lot of talking. And I'm not doing anything action worthy here, and that's kind of the movie. It's just talking, 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 kind of like I'm just saying now, just that the movie is talking, talking, talking. And yeah, I guess that's a little bit of the disappointment here. I mean, the end scene was good. I mean, it was fun to watch, uh, but it was expected, and it was fine, and it fit where it went. But I mean, at that point, if that is all the real true excitement you're going to give here, that's a little disappointing. I mean, they're trying to maybe kind of spook you out with some of the conversation beforehand, but whatever. I mean, they kind of get into this whole thing where they want to tell ghost stories and so forth, but are actually telling the story of what's going on here. So it's not, it's just very, just actionless movie. There's nothing happening, besides them moving around in this place. It's literally the end scene, the end moment, and not even like a full third act. It's just really that last few moments is really all the action that you're getting in this movie. So yeah, with that, like you really can't do much with. I think Justin and Kate. I mean, they do good. They do a lot of talking. I mean, they were fine. Again, I don't exactly see Justin as a player. Maybe they could have just said a guy looking for a woman or whatever, a single guy. I don't know. Whatever your impressions are of players. I don't know, but. I mean, they did fine. It was fine. The end scene was fine, but getting there was just a lot of talking. So yeah, so with that, I'm not gonna go on too much with this because I know you're probably saying the same, like the end of this. So with that, I'm gonna give it two pools of blood. Just not a whole lot of excitement in this one. Pretty standard, like I said. Would have been a probably better short, and you could have done maybe a 20-minute short or so, or you could have even done it less, but whatever. And it probably would have been worked more effectively and just been like, oh, okay. So with that, yeah, two pools of blood, and that is out of five. And with that, horoscope reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more of my reviews. Written ones, video ones are all there. But if you're just interested in the video ones, you can subscribe, like, do all that kind of thing, or not. And Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, and the comment section. So if you want to talk about this movie, talk about my rambling, talk about horror or whatever, feel free to do so in any of those locations. And with that, I guess I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.